Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Wednesday. We got 11 matchups on this NBA slate today, so go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out all my links in the description below. And go and check out the sponsor of the channel, ParlayPlay, guys. Get $10 in risk-free entries when you guys do sign up, and they'll match your deposit up 100% up to $50. Plus, there's all kinds of free tournaments every day and a lot of chances for you guys to win money. Been a super fun site, and definitely want to get you guys in there and see you guys win money. So yeah, we'll hop into it. 11 matchups, starting with the Indiana Pacers versus the Detroit Pistons. Pacers opening up as 6.5 point favorites with the over-under at 211. The last 10 head-to-head, Pacers 6-4. Detroit's 5-4-1 covering in those 10 matchups. Pacers don't see really any major injuries here. Pacers, 3-3 in their last 6. Had that coming off that Knicks loss. Detroit 3-7 in their last 10. I mean, Detroit has not looked good here. Indiana 5-5 in their last 10, 4-1 in their last 5 against Detroit, 6-2 covering in their last 8 games. Detroit just 1-9 at home, 5-13 covering so far. Have not looked good. Haven't really been able to cover. Hard to trust this Detroit team plus the points on this one. I'm going to take the Pacers minus 6.5. Definitely take them on the money line for sure. Next matchup, we have the Boston Celtics versus the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks opening up as 4-point favorites with the over-under at 214. The last 10 head-to-head, Boston's 8-2, 5-5 covering in those 10 matchups. No major injuries. Bogdanovich and Huerter are both questionable Wednesday. Be sure to check if they do play or not. Boston 5-5 in their last 10. Atlanta just 3-7 in their last 10. Are on a 2-game winning streak. That is encouraging. Boston 5-1 on the road against Atlanta. 5-2 in their last 7. Starting to pick things up here. 3-1 in their last 4 for Boston. Atlanta just 1-5 at home against Boston. 3-9 covering in their last 12. They haven't been able to cover and really get any wins here in their 10-game sample size. I like Boston plus 4 here. A lot of question marks for Atlanta. Haven't looked that good at home here. We'll roll with Boston. Next matchup, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Nets opening up as 10.5 point favorites with the over-under at 206.5. The last 10 head-to-head split down the middle. Both teams are 5-5 and 5-5 covering. Kevin Love's probable Wednesday. Jared Allen is out. Markkanen is out. Stevens is out. Mobley's out. A lot of injury concerns for this Cleveland team. Currently 6-4 in their last 10. Brooklyn 8-2 in their last 10 here. Yeah, Cleveland dealing with a lot of injuries here. We know Brooklyn's going to be on a back-to-back with their matchup against the Warriors on Tuesday. I still like the Nets here. Just a lot. I would take the Cavs, but they are dealing with too many injuries, especially with key guys with Markkanen and Jared Allen. No Sexton, Mobley. That's a lot of key pieces there. Yeah, we'll take the Nets here. I feel more comfortable taking the Nets minus 10.5. And yeah, definitely add them to your money line parlays for sure. Next matchup, we have the Orlando Magic versus the New York Knicks. Knicks opening up as 11.5 point favorites with the over-under at 209. The last 10 head-to-head, both teams are 5-5. Orlando is 6-4 covering in those 10 matchups. Orlando 2-8 in their last 10. Knicks 5-5 in their last 10. The Magic 3-17 in their last 20. 1-4 on the road against New York. 2-10 on the road in general. Not a good road team. The Knicks 4-1 in their last 5 at home against Orlando. 3-6 covering in their last 9. I mean, man, hard to trust the Magic. They just are struggling mightily. all sorts of injuries on their end. No major injuries for the Knicks. Nerlens Noel is going to be out, but I trust the Knicks more on this 11.5 point spread. I don't love it, but I love the Knicks more in general. We'll take the minus 11.5, but definitely add them to your moneyline parlays. They should be able to beat up on this Magic team. Next matchup, we have the Houston Rockets versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thunder opening up as 3.5 point favorites with the over-under at 211. The last 10 head-to-head, both teams are 5-5. OKC 6-4 covering in those 10 matchups. Houston currently on a 12-game losing streak right now. 0-15 on the road. 0-12 or 5-11 covering against OKC. OKC not playing horrible. They are on a 2-game losing streak. We're against Brooklyn and Miami. But 5-5 in their last 10. Been playing pretty decent here recently. You can't trust the Rockets. They have just been so bad. How can you trust them? We'll take the Thunder minus 3.5. Take them on the money line. Next matchup, we have the Sacramento Kings versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota opening up as 2-point favorites with the over-under at 222.5. The last 10 head-to-head, both teams are 5-5. Minnesota is 5-4-1 covering in those 10 head-to-head matchups. Sacramento 4-6 in their last 10. Minnesota just 2-8 in their last 10. Sacramento, both teams playing pretty bad basketball here. Sacramento 1-5 on the road against Minnesota, 1-4 in their last 5. Minnesota 0-6 at home. They are 5-1 at home against Sacramento, but neither team playing good basketball here. I'll take the 2 points with Sacramento in this one. Next matchup, we have the Chicago Bulls versus the Portland Trail Blazers. The Blazers opening up as 2.5 point favorites with the over-under at 221. The last 10 head-to-head, Portland 8-2, 7-3 covering in those 10 matchups. Chicago 6-4 in their last 10. Portland 4-6 in their last 10. Chicago 1-8 in their last 9 against Portland. 2-7 covering against Portland. Kind of crazy the struggles they've had against the Blazers. Blazers 6-0 at home, 10-3 in their last 13 against Chicago. We know Vooch is out, and I just really like the plus 2.5 for the Bulls here. Been playing great. Blazers haven't been that great. Just 4-6 in their last 10. Nothing special. We know Chicago struggled against Portland, but that really hasn't been this season, so I'll take the free points with the Bulls. Next matchup, we have the Dallas Mavericks versus the Phoenix Suns. Suns opening up as 6.5 point favorites with the over-under at 220. The last 10 head-to-head, Phoenix 7-3, 8-2 covering in those 10 matchups. I do see Luka is questionable Wednesday. Could be why this line is a little bit lopsided here. Phoenix, no major injuries. Dallas 7-3 in their last 10. Phoenix 9-1 in their last 10. Of course, I picked Denver to cover against Dallas, and of course Dallas gets a nice win, which was a game that Denver was up by over 10 points at halftime. So that bet was looking pretty good until then. Dallas 0-6 covering against Phoenix. 0-6 against Phoenix. No success against Phoenix here, which is kind of mind-blowing. This one's pretty simple for me. Luka did get a little injured last game. We'll see if he plays. If Luka plays, taking the Mavs plus 6.5. If Luka's out, taking the Suns here. I just know without Luka, the offense is going to be tough. We know that, but so Luka plus the points. Without Luka, take the Suns. All right, next matchup, we have the Washington Wizards versus the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets opening up as 2.5 point favorites with the over-under at 220.5. The last 10 head-to-head, Charlotte 6-4, 6-4 covering in those 10 matchups. Bradley Beal he is probable Wednesday, so that is good for the Wizards. Wizards currently riding a 5-game winning streak. Playing pretty good basketball here. Charlotte on a 3-game winning streak. Wizards 1-4 covering against Charlotte. 3-6 in their last 9 against Charlotte. They've really struggled against Charlotte here. Charlotte 7-0 at home against Washington. Yeah, I kind of want to go against this narrative here, against these statistics. I like the Wizards getting Beal back on a 5-game winning streak. I like them to bring this momentum into this matchup here against the Hornets. We'll take Wizards plus the points. Next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks opening up as 8.5-point favorites with the over-under at 221.5. The last 10 head-to-head, Milwaukee 7-3, 6-4 covering in those 10 matchups. Anthony Davis is probable. Brook Lopez is questionable, and then George Hill is probable. Lakers coming off that bad Chicago loss. Milwaukee on a 2-game losing streak right now. Lakers 2-7 in their last 9 against the Bucks, 2-6 covering against the Bucks here. Milwaukee 3-7 in their last 10, 3-7 covering in their last 10. Haven't been playing that great, missing some key pieces to their offense, to their team in general. I like Lakers plus the points. I think 8.5. I think that's a lot of points here for two struggling teams with talent. Yeah, we'll take Lakers plus the points in this matchup. Then the last matchup, we had the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Miami Heat. The Heat opening up as 8.5-point favorites with the over-under at 205.5. The last 10 head-to-head, the Heat 6-4, 8-2 covering in those 10 matchups. Jimmy Butler is questionable, so is Dedmon and Bam. All three are questionable Wednesday. Be sure to check their statuses before you lock in any bets. Pelicans 1-9 in their last 10. Miami 6-4 in their last 10, playing good basketball. This Pelican team very bad. Pretty simple here. As long as, if all three of Jimmy, Dedmon, and Bam are all out, probably stay away from this matchup. Maybe take Pelicans plus the points. But if either Bam or Jimmy play, one of the two, I'll still take the Heat minus 8.5 here. The much better team, Pelicans. They're just awful, and you're going to be sweating it every time if you take them plus the points. I'm not going to do it. We'll take Miami in this matchup. That's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Wednesday, and I'll see you guys Thursday. Have a good one.